inside. Akeem not there. And the ball saved by Drexler to Shilkett. Kenny Smith of the three. Rattles out of there. Kenny had 17 threes in the first round, which tied an NBA playoff record for a 5-game series. Barkley with the three.
Well, you look at the shots where the superstars, where they're coming from for the superstars. Barkley has been out away from the basket. Olajuwon has been out away from the basket. Joe Klein really loving it because that's where he wants Olajuwon.
Barkley was 4 of 8 from three-point land in Game 3 against Portland, and that 47-point performance. Smith inside. He kind of sets the tone for this Houston team.
Well, because he made three-point shots so well in that first round against the Utah Jazz, KJ has to come out and has to play him tight. That opens up the penetration.
Now they're going to mix it up on Barkley. They'll come at different times from different people in different places. And A.C. Green, who had a remarkable first round, he has been the guy who's taken the energy to a new level since the playoffs have began.
Almost 15 points a game and 12 rebounds per ball game. Barkley, we talked about him at 34 points a game. He had 14 rebounds a game in that first round.
Illegal defense, a warning. That'll be the first against Phoenix. Let's go back to Kenny Smith, the guy who can shoot it outside, but also, Jack, he can penetrate.
Well, watch how KJ comes out to play him there. He has to force Kenny Smith to put the ball on the floor because he's such a great standing jump shooter.
You can see what Kenny has done against the Suns. As Paul Westphal put it, he's always played well against us. And it comes now to Olajuwon. Klein doing a good job defensively. Drexler with a three. And you talk about getting a roll.
Touch it up, Clyde Drexler.
Clyde Drexler shot 56% behind the line in the first round. Here's Kevin Johnson at the other end. Kevin leaves it short. Olajuwon kicks it. Wesley Person tried to come up with it. Ahead it goes to Drexler. Here's what he's at his best in the open floor to Ori. He's fouled by Joe Klein.
A real challenge for Houston in this series is how well they do on the boards. They are not a good rebounding team. Barkley and the Phoenix Suns took it right to Portland. Here it is. Watch the hard foul. It's playoff time. Nothing easy in the paint.
Robert Horry had a 21-point game in Game 2 against Utah. Horry is the guy who had a lot of problems with his back. He'll go to the line with 8:26 to go in this first quarter. They're tied at 10, and Horry gives them the lead. When Horry shoots well from outside, Houston's success really picks up. And I remember in the regular season, he shot it well against Utah. Remember in Game 2, he's 3 of 6, and they won that ball game.
Well, the thing about Robert Horry, yes, when he's scoring points, that's good for Phoenix. But the thing that happens when he's scoring points, he becomes so active in other areas of the game. They need him very aggressive on the defensive end of the floor. They need some rebounding from him.
Here they come with a late double team. Klein from outside, and that will move Olajuwon out. He's going to have to respect that face-up jumper.
Can't say how big it is for the Phoenix centers to make jump shots.
Olajuwon moving inside, travel to the ball, and Klein is excited about the defensive effort he was able to put on Olajuwon.
I think what's happening with Olajuwon right now, he's rushing his offense. He knows the double teams are coming, and instead of waiting for them to get there and find his people on the perimeter, he's trying to make something happen very quickly.
Kevin Johnson is still nursing a sore left hamstring. He didn't practice for 3 days. Klein again from outside.
Well, that takes Olajuwon and his shot blocking ability right out of this ball game.
We've already had 5 lead changes and 4 ties. Right now, the Suns by 2. Olajuwon against Klein. Olajuwon leaves it and gets it. Olajuwon will have Klein and Shays and A.C. Green running at him tonight.
I think the Phoenix Suns will take 25% from him all night. He's 1 for 4 so far, and if they can keep him shooting at that percentage, they would love that.
A foul on Houston. As we have a substitution now, Chucky Brown will be checking into the ball game. Shilkett will leave. The foul is going to go on Shilkett, and it will be his second. So he'll have to come out. Chucky Brown, who played very well in the first round, a guy who started the year in the CBA, comes in to guard Barkley.
And Barkley will touch it right now. I mean, this is a matchup that he will win, or somebody's going to get a good shot out of it.
Inside to Green. Nice pass by Kevin Johnson.
The double team has to come more aggressively now with Chucky Brown on the floor. He cannot stop Barkley one-on-one. And if Phoenix just moves the ball, make that extra pass, someone's going to get an open shot.
Who can stop him one-on-one as far as that goes? Barkley playing as well as he's ever played. He's been a monster since the All-Star break. He's been healthy. He's excited. Here's Brown. Rejected by Barkley.
Got to take it to the hole.
3-on-2. Wesley Person is fouled. The Suns would love to get out and run at every opportunity. As we take it away, A.C. Green with a beautiful pass from Kevin Johnson, and the Suns lead it by 2.
The NBA playoffs on TNT tomorrow. All eyes are on Michael Jordan as the Bulls need to steal one in Orlando.
TNT's got the game.
Bulls Magic tomorrow at 8 on
TNT.
Want to make a Consumer's Digest Best Buy an even better buy? Well, right now, we're offering $1,000 cash back on every 95 Dodge Caravan. Not just some, every one. Add in up to $1,100 in package value discounts, and you can take up to $2,100 off America's best-selling minivan. Or choose 4.9 financing instead. So hurry to the Dodge National Best Buy sale. For a limited time, current Chrysler Corporation minivan owners get an additional $500 cash back.
There are times when the game comes down to a single moment, when one pass, one whistle, one play will make the difference. When that time comes, it's your job to weigh the risk and reward of a single decision. The pressure, possibility of the moment, that's why you do what you do. That's why you coach. And when it's over, it's over. Until tomorrow.
The information superhighway is littered with the obsolete, the underpowered, and the unloved. Before you trash, log on to Computer Connection, Saturday, 3 Eastern on CNN.
The Suns by 2. Another member of our broadcast team, our courtside reporter, Nicole Watson. Nicole?
Thank you, Gary. Well, every guy has his way of motivating himself for every game. Kenny Smith of the Houston Rockets writes himself a motivational message on the inside of his sneakers. For the last series against the Utah Jazz, he wrote, "It's real," meaning that the real season starts with the playoffs. He says for this one, he writes, "Aim high" on the inside of his sneakers. That a lot of people have told them that they're very lucky to make it out of the first round. But he says, "We are the defending world champions. We're going to aim high and show people that we can at least make it to the finals." Gary?
And I'll tell you, Nicole, their mental toughness don't count this team out. They are 7-1 in elimination games in the last 2 years.
Yeah, and I think that toughness is one thing that takes the importance of this game off just a little bit for Houston, why they can relax and put all the pressure on the Phoenix Suns. They know now that they can come back after being down. They did it last year in this series. They did it also against the Utah Jazz being down 2-1.
Person gets the first free throw. You saw Rudy Tomjanovich. He was telling us today, he said he wished he'd had one more day off. A little fatigue he feels could be a factor after that torrid 5-game series ending Sunday in Salt Lake City.
And another real concern is you go from playing a team in the Utah Jazz that is half court to a team with the Phoenix Suns that gets up and down the floor.
They love that tempo.
Physically, they can do it. Mentally, they might not be able to change that quickly.
You saw the graphic a moment ago, shooting in the ballgame. The Suns have missed only 1 of 8 shots. There's Kevin Johnson. 2 seconds on the shot clock now with 1. And I think they're going to put it back to 2. Jake O'Donnell says put another second on the shot clock. So they'll inbound at the other end of the floor with 2 seconds on the shot clock.
Well, Phoenix's defense has done what they've had to do against Houston. They have taken away the quick, high percentage early baskets. The defensive conversion is there. They're forcing them into a half-court game.
Well, it's been interesting to watch Barkley in the early going. He has 6 points, and we were wondering how he would respond. It's playoff time, I guess is the best way to explain it. No matter how you feel, you want to be here.
You can talk all you want about the fact that he got sick this morning. They had to rush him home. They had him on IVs all day. All you want about that, this is the playoffs. He wants to win.
And they really, let's see, now wait a minute. Jake O'Donnell saying that the shot clock did expire on that pass. And so the Suns, good defense on the inbound, and they're going to get it.
Well, I think what you're seeing right now with Houston is maybe a little bit of the fatigue factor that we talked about just a little while ago. They are not sharp at all. They will have to make some adjustments to get ready for this game.
On the other end, the Suns have had a week off since sweeping Portland. Here's Person, the rookie, from outside. He led all NBA rookies in three-point shooting percentage-wise, and the H.C. Green with a putback.
Well, give Klein credit. He knew he couldn't get to it. He saw AC there, tipped the ball to him, and he got another 2 at the hole.
AC with 6 points, the biggest lead of the ball game.
Well, great job.
Horry with a 3. Kevin Johnson to the rebound. Here they come. Kevin Johnson Averaged over 28 points a game in the series last year against Houston. They throw it away. This team this year led the NBA in turnovers per game, only 14.2. That was a club record, so they don't turn it over very often.
Well, they've done a great job on Olajuwon, so Houston now taking him off the low post and giving Drexler a chance to work against the rookie.
Drexler from outside.
That's too easy on the defense.
Kevin Johnson comes out with it. Olajuwon tried to pick his pocket, and we're going to have a traveling call as Kevin was dribbling the ball. He got away from it.
Yeah, and once again, you talk about the turnovers. Phoenix does not make many, but they've made 2 so far. Now let's talk about the Phoenix defense on the other end of the floor. Houston's making it so easy on them right now. Look at how many jump shots are going up. No one attacking the basket. That's Phoenix's style. Long rebounds means quick baskets.
Kenny Smith now setting it up. A high pick from Chucky Brown. 5:12 to go in the first quarter. Game 1 in this Western Conference semifinal. And that's a traveling call to Olajuwon. He's motioning to Jake O'Donnell that he didn't move his pivot foot, but Jake thinks otherwise.
Well, once again, I think we are seeing just a fatigued team right now in Houston. I think their thinking right now might be, let's get through this first half, guys. Let's keep it close, and maybe we can steal one with upping our effort in the second half.
Out it comes to Klein. He's hit 2 from outside. AC Greenard with 6 points. Overshoots that one. Rebound by Drexler. And we have a technical on Hakeem Olajuwon. As they were going back up the floor, Jake O'Donnell indicating the technical. Hakeem not happy about that previous traveling call.
No, maybe not. Yep.
Kevin Johnson's going to shoot the technical.
Yeah, Olajuwon was upset because he felt, number one, he's been hit and pushed around a couple times by Klein on the other end. And then he got the travel call. You saw him bump Jake O'Donnell right there. And Jake, he has been around too long.
Yep.
He's not going to take that.
He's one of the best. And so Kevin Johnson now makes it 21-14. Hakeem with the technical.
The real interesting thing here is that with Olajuwon, you normally don't get that much reaction from him on the calls. Normally he goes with the flow. Let's see if he gets a couple calls his way now.
Suns on an 11-2 run. They're off the mark effectively. And as Jack has pointed out, Houston still trying to jumpstart themselves. Olajuwon misses. Klein chases it down, and it's going to be off of Phoenix.
Well, that's the clearest shot Olajuwon has had at the basket so far in this game. He's 1 for 5 from the field, and Klein bodying up. Phoenix has fouls to waste with Klein and then Danny Shays over on the bench, both 7-footers.
And the only win this year that the Suns had over Houston, it was at the Summit, and Klein and Shays really defensed Olajuwon well in that game. Even though he had 40 points, they wore him out, and Hakeem with that deadly jumper makes it 21-16.
Now, you're talking about getting worn out for Olajuwon. I think that's a legitimate concern. You remember he suffered from anemia early in the Utah series. About every timeout, he went to the oxygen.
Kenny Smith could not impede that drive, and Kevin Johnson ducks in and makes it 23-16. Kevin with 5 points of the ball game. Off it comes to Chucky Brown. Brown backing in. Drexler being guarded by Person. You expect to see Dan Marley later in the ball game on Clyde Drexler. Marley, their 6th man. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Olajuwon, same spot, same result.
Beautiful, beautiful turnaround jump shot. He has gotten so much better at reading the defenses. He can turn to the middle, but he can also turn away from the double team by fading on the baseline.
Hakeem now with 6 points in the ball game. He averaged 35 in the first round into Barkley. And you talk about communication between Kevin Johnson and Charles Barkley.
Chucky Brown, he can't guard Barkley. He just can't do it. That time he tried to take away the low post, and they hurt him over top.
Kenny Smith gets it into their meal ticket, and Olajuwon going to work. Tipped up. AC stays with it. AC is fouled as he goes up the floor, and AC is playing just like he did in the first round, and that's a fever pitch.
Well, you know, that's what makes AC such a tough assignment. He's playing number one, the small forward position. He's matched up against Robert Horry. He can be physical against Robert Horry. The other thing is with AC Green, you don't have to run plays for him to be effective.
Barkley's going to get a blow now. He'll come out. They're going to be very careful with him. Dehydration, a problem they had earlier. They had IVs. They were pumping him full of all kinds of liquids. He said he felt pretty good before the game, and I think he felt very, very good in the early going. 8 points, 3 of 3 from the field. Wayman Tisdale now comes in for the Suns.
I'm really surprised we haven't seen Dan Marley yet, but Clyde Drexler has not been a factor in this game to this point, so you can leave Person.
Kevin leaves it for Klein, and how about Joe Klein in this ball game?
Well, now what you're seeing is Phoenix putting the pressure on the Rocket defense. The Rockets are not doing the same thing on the other end.
Timeout, Houston. Biggest lead of the game for Phoenix. Joe Klein is 3 of 3 from the field.
Well, and watch right here. The reason why he's gotten high percentage shots every time.
Suns with a 27-18 lead. Before the game, we asked Suns coach Paul Westphal, how do you defend Hakeem Olajuwon?
Well, we can't guard him. Nobody else can guard him either. And he's going to have some monster games and leave people shaking their heads and go, that guy's good. Because he is. We just hope that we make him earn all his points. We'll try to tire him out a little bit. And, you know, we've told all the restaurants in town to cut down on the iron. And so maybe he won't be able to carry the team as much as he might need to beat us. But we don't expect to stop him. We just want to make him work.
Well, the iron situation, of course, directly revolving around the fact that Hakeem had anemia late in the regular season. He had an iron deficiency. You can see he struggled thus far, 3 of 8 from the field.
Well, they have him 3 for 8. All of his shots have been fallaways. That's the first basket they've gotten from the forward position. Robert Horry did take the ball to the basket once earlier, got fouled hard, and made a free throw attempt.
So after the timeout, Houston comes in and gets a bucket. Sam Cassell is checked in now. Out it comes to Person. Drexler's up on him in a hurry. He respects his range. Person's had a very good rookie year for the Suns. He's a very mature first-year player. Blocked by Horry. Tisdale trying to load it up. Couldn't get it over him. Here comes Chucky Brown on the move. Ducks in. A little out of control. Drexler swings it to Cassell. Cassell in the first round really wasn't a big factor. He figures to be before this playoff is over. Misses the shot. Rebound by Klein.
He's trying to come back from an ankle injury. He was such a factor in the playoffs last year.
And he usually plays well against the Suns. He had a very good game in the regular season. Had 17 points and 9 assists in their second meeting.
Houston's going to have to find a way to get some easy baskets. They're having to work hard for everything right now.
1:55 to go in the first quarter. 27-21 Phoenix. That's a 2. That is a 2 by Drexler. Drexler now with 7.
Well, if Drexler can make some baskets, it takes the pressure off of Olajuwon. You remember earlier in this game, he touched the ball almost every time down. He's going to be worn out if they continue at that pace.
Kevin Johnson ducks around. Cassell draws the foul. Kevin looks very quick. Kevin has had a year when he's been hurt so much. He played in only 47 games in the regular season. That's a career low. And then they held him out most of the second half in Game 3 against Portland because of a little twinge he had in the left hamstring. But right now, he looks lightning quick.
Now, the one good thing that came out of this long layoff that Phoenix has had since going away with Portland in 3 is the fact they've been able to rest KJ. They feel he is very healthy right now, almost 100%. So they're hoping they can ride him through this series.
That foul was on Olajuwon, his second. Joe Klein checking out. 3 of 3. He had 6 points. Olajuwon sits down with 1:32 to go in the first quarter. Marley is in the ball game. Barkley is back. Now Charles Jones, Jack, coming in for Houston.
You have a real challenge right now for Houston. They don't have another post player. No one they can go to, and so much of Houston's offense comes out of the double teams. You throw out of the double team, you get perimeter shots. With this lineup on the floor, that's not going to happen.
Boy, the Suns in the first round were brilliant from the free throw line. They shot 82%, and Kevin Johnson was 19 of 21, but he missed his second there. Cassell inside leaves it. You just know this guy's going to respond sooner or later. He's been so big in the playoffs.
Well, if he can get that, that's going to be huge, because once again, you have to find someone else that can score points against this Phoenix team. Cassell can do that.
Boy, the Knicks remember him last year in the finals. Kevin Johnson goes in. They've not been able to stop that penetrating move. 30-25, Phoenix with the advantage. Inside a minute to go in the first quarter. Chucky Brown.
Take that shot.
Ball fake, goes in closer. AC tips it to himself. Comes up with it. Look at this hustle by AC Green. Ahead to Tisdale. Out it comes to Barkley. They'll set it up.
You have to start getting something out of your forward position. If you're Houston, simply because Phoenix gets so many points from their forwards. You got to match up somehow.
Second leading scorer in the NBA, the Phoenix Suns, only topped by Orlando. They turn it over. Here comes Drexler. This is where he's at his best in the open floor, and Marley draws the foul. He has made Houston a much wide open team. They before really didn't have the up tempo, but he can get it up and really get it up.
Yeah, you know, Houston's going to be hurting on the board since they brought Drexler in. But what Drexler does, and one other thing, Drexler's a very good rebounding guard. But what he does do is give him someone who can get points in a lot of different ways. And then because he is so unselfish, he gets other guys involved in the offense.
6.3 rebounds this year. One of the best rebounding guards, as you mentioned. Against Utah, look at the numbers in the wins. The first game, he really did not play well, but he came on strong with a 41-point game. I'll never forget that one in Game 3.
Yeah, you talk about the points in the wins. I think it's even more significant the points in the loss, because that tells you that he has to be involved in the offense if they're going to beat Phoenix in this series.
Danny Ainge is checked into the lineup now for the Suns, playing in his 187th playoff game, second only to Magic Johnson. 30, 27, 25 seconds to go in the first quarter. Kevin Johnson now with 15 seconds on the game clock. Brings it back out to Ainge. Marley dumping it inside to Barkley. Barkley fights a double team and just pure strength, able to get it off the glass.
And Rudy T talking about the offensive foul. He thought Barkley lowered his shoulder.
Cassell from outside, he hit the three.
He will take that, though.
Sam Cassell did not shoot well in the first round, but it looks like he's back. The Suns by 2, 32-30, and Kevin Johnson leading the way for the Suns, but Houston on a 14-7 run to end this first quarter.
And Coach Westphal has not put him in during the regular gameplay. Charles has been receiving some IV treatment, but the last time a player from the Phoenix Suns did that was Dan Marley. He had 19 points in 46 minutes against the Lakers, and the Suns won in that game in overtime.
Thank you, Nicole. How about this? The Suns shoot 72% of the first quarter and lead by only 2.
Well, one reason is they've given up 5 more shots to the Houston Rockets. They've been on the offensive boards to get some additional baskets.
Danny Ainge makes it 35-30. Ainge with his 162nd three. That's number 1 all-time in the playoffs. Cassell kicks it out to Drexler. Drexler with a 3. Kevin Johnson to the rebound. Cassell fouls him from behind. And now Mario Ellie will check into the ball game for the first time for the Rockets. We mentioned that Houston hit 2 late. They had 4 in that first half, and that was the catch-up. They were able to come back and do what they did, down by only 2 after 12 minutes.
Yeah, that's where they made up a lot of points. Now, you know that Houston shoots a lot of threes. Normally, Vernon Maxwell would be the second guard to enter the game, the number 2 guard to enter the game, but he is not here. Mario Ellie is getting more and more minutes. He has to be aware of Marley on defense.
And Marley ducks inside and off the glass. Marley playing with a lot of confidence. Probably his confidence level is the highest it's been all year. He's 11 of 19 from three-point land in the first round. Barkley with a rebound. The Suns by 7. They led by as many as 9 in the first quarter.
I don't like all these three-point shots going up so quickly from the Houston Rockets, because what you're doing now is you're not allowing Olajuwon to get in rebound position. He's not expecting those quick shots to go.
Barkley, that's his trademark. Come out early in a ball game, first quarter, second quarter, launch some threes, gets them in the rhythm. Biggest lead of the game now, 10. Inside a double team, and Olajuwon can't get to the ball.
Well, see, that's Jake O'Donnell right there, taking over the game. Olajuwon and Jake got into it earlier.
That's his 3rd foul.
Yeah,
Olajuwon with 3.
He's just showing right now who's the boss here, and not a lot of contact, not very much contact at all on that play, but he picks up number 3.
So Hakeem will come out of the ball game with 3 as we have 10:34 to go in the first half. You can see the run now by the Suns after they survived a 14-7 run by Houston at the end of the first quarter. Ellie with a rebound.
Now let's see where the shot comes from here. The last 3 possessions, Houston had taken a 3-point shot.
Cassell ducking in, kicks it out to Drexler, deflected by Marley, and Marley is fouled. You know, Marley, even though this year he struggled with his shooting, he still has been very consistent with his defense.
And now give Clyde Drexler a technical foul. Didn't like the call by Jake, and he might be gone now.
Wow. He's charging over to Jake O'Donnell.
He's gone now. He's out of the game. And that's very unfortunate for a couple of reasons. Number 1, he's a veteran. he should be able to voice some opposition to a call like that in the open floor. But the other thing is, Olajuwon got it started early, and Jake has to take over this ball game.
Houston in real jeopardy now. They've got Olajuwon with 3 personals, and Drexler has been booted from the ball game. You're right, though. As a veteran, you should know better to get yourself into that kind of a circumstance.
Yeah, the one good thing about Jake O'Donnell is that as long as you don't show him up and put him on the spot, he'll listen to everything you need to say. He will pull you over to the side. He will let you voice all the opposition you want as long as you don't show him up. And that's what Drexler did.
So Drexler leads with 9 points in the ball game, 3 of 6 from the field. He hit his 2 free throws. And you got to remember one thing about Houston. They have only 10 bodies to start with because Vernon Maxwell's on an indefinite leave due to personal problems. And Carl Herrera tried to go in game 3, and he re-injured his shoulder. So they're now down to 9 able bodies.
Yeah, I think Herrera might be gone for the rest of the playoffs also. He just can't go.
Boy, this really surprises. Well, as you go back to Drexler, let's document what got him tossed from the ball game.
Yeah, he just goes off right here. Now, what happened on that play is as Dan Marley knocked the ball away and was going down the floor after the loose ball, Clyde Drexler reached out and put his hand on him. He got the quick whistle, didn't like it at all.
And Rudy T was desperately over there trying to keep Clyde from getting into more difficulty.
Well, Rudy knows he can't win this game without Clyde Drexler. He knows it's going to be very, very difficult. And you add to that the fact that Olajuwon is already on the bench with 10-12 left in this period with 3 personal fouls. Your number 1 guy and your number 2 guy are now gone.
Farley misses the free throw. Well, Houston, a quick turnaround after winning Game 5 Sunday. They flew right into Phoenix from Salt Lake City. They've had a little edge on them here tonight. They're not happy. 11-0 run now, the start of this second quarter. And Brown ends that with a shot inside.
And that is one of the 2 times that Houston in this ball game has gotten a shot at the basket. Everything else on the perimeter.
9:49 to go in the first half into Tisdale. Tisdale, little jump hook. Barkley with a putback, still not there, and he draws the foul. We're going to have a timeout called with 9:42 to go in this first half. The Suns with a 43-32 lead in Game 1.
Sunday nights this fall, the NFL.
The way they got Clyde Drexler so upset. You'll see Marley step into the passing lane, knock the pass away, and head down the other end. Watch the slight contact right there. Not a whole lot of contact at all. That caused Jake O'Donnell to blow the whistle, and Clyde didn't like it at all. Here's his reaction, and he's out of the game. I'm still, Gary, just a little surprised that you saw that much reaction from Clyde. I mean, this is a key game. Olajuwon already has 3 personal fouls. He's needed in this ballgame.
Well, you come out of a tough series. You're a little weary. You've gone through some real battles with the Jazz, and maybe there's just a little different edge on you, and it certainly showed there for Clyde Drexler.
We showed you this just a little while ago, the number of points in the wins, and then look at the number of points he got in the losses. He has 9 points tonight, so that's going to add up to, that's going to add into that column should they lose this ball game.
Barkley gets both free throws, 45-32. Now, since the start of the second quarter, the Suns are on a 13-2 run. Cassell inside to Brown. Barkley tries to block it and commits a foul. Chucky Brown's done a good job that time moving inside, getting himself open.
Well, I like what I'm seeing out of Houston right now. The fact that with this unit on the floor, points are going to be hard to come by. Kenny Smith would be a guy that you're going to look at. He's going to get a lot of attention. But look at them going to the basket right now. They understand if you don't make the shot, you can at least get to the foul line.
Barkley with his first foul. Chucky Brown missing the free throw. He is not a good free throw shooter. During the regular season, he shot 61%. He shot 60% for the field, almost the same as from the line. Chucky Brown, an all-CBA performer. He played 31 games with the Yakima Sun Kings. 45-33. Olajuwon on the bench with 3 fouls. If you just joined us, Drexler ejected from the game. Game 1 here in this Western Conference semifinal. Game 2 Thursday from America West Arena. Tisdale, little jump hook. He's one of the reasons the Suns rebounded late in the season. He came on and really found a niche on this Phoenix team.
He finally got healthy. He was unhealthy early in the season, finally worked through all the injuries, and he's playing very well.
And speaking of playing well, Cassell now with 7 points. So he has already played better than he did the entire first round. He only averaged 3.8 against Utah. Here's Marley to the hole. Barkley there again. Another putback. Barkley really crashing the offensive board.
Well, with Olajuwon on the bench right now, he's going to be able to do anything he wants to around the basket. And wait until A.C. Green comes back into the game. He's the better rebounder. He's going to be around the basket also.
Barkley with 17 points. Ellie with a 3. Ainge with a rebound. Ahead it comes to Marley. Beautifully done to Tisdale.
That's why I don't like to see the long shots coming right now by the Houston Rockets. Every time you shoot the long shot and you miss it, Phoenix has been able to get a high percentage shot on the other end.
Little pick and roll. Ellie has it stripped by Marley. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Chilcutt inside against Tisdale. Chilcutt the fall away. Marley with a rebound.
They'll give him that shot every time.
Ainge will pull up with a 3. Danny Ainge of his second of the night. Second quarter. A quarter in which Drexler has been ejected. Olajuwon is on the bench with 3 fouls, and Charles Barkley, with food poisoning, has not missed a shot. 17 points in the early going.
And look what is happening right now. The Rockets have come back with Akeem Olajuwon. He has 3 fouls. Rudy T feels they can't get any further down and have a chance to win this game.
Mario Ellie moving inside, draws the foul. Well, he figures this game could get completely away from him, down by 19 points. Don't forget, at the conclusion of our game, we'll be selecting the Budweiser player of the game. Second foul on Dan Marley, sending Ellie to the line.
I'll tell you, Gary, every time Utah has taken the ball to the basket, they've either gotten to the free throw line or they've scored points. You have to know who you're playing against. Phoenix, not a real good shot blocking team, so don't make it easy on them by pulling up, shooting all the shots from the outside.
Ellie shot 84% from the free throw line. He gets both of those. 54-37. Dumping it into Tisdale. Tisdale back to Kevin. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Tisdale for the baseline. Rebound by Olajuwon. Tisdale had played in only 4 playoff games, and that was an 87 before coming to Phoenix this year.
Now, that's smart play by Phoenix to give Tisdale the ball against Olajuwon. Try to get number 4. There's the foul, and he gets it to the hole. But the problem is you don't want Tisdale shooting a fall-away jump shot in that situation. You want him putting the ball on the floor, going to the basket. Here's a look at it right here. Now, Olajuwon takes the baseline, just taking what the defense gives him, and he gets the foul.
First foul on Tisdale. Olajuwon at the line. And Joe Klein, who did a very good job defensively on Olajuwon in the first part of the ball game and hit all 3 of his field goal attempts, comes in. Tisdale sits down, and Klein's going to go in there, and he's going to try to big body Olajuwon.
Well, it actually makes it a little bit easier on Olajuwon because Klein will spot up at the top of the key, which takes Olajuwon out of the mix, cuts down on his chances to pick up his 4th foul.
Marley dumps it into Barkley. Barkley kicks it to Klein. Kevin Johnson, good ball rotation. Johnson, a wide open shot.
Inside out. Get the double team, throw it out, and make that extra pass.
56-39, Phoenix. Olajuwon moving in on Klein, and he doesn't get the roll. Rebound by Kevin Johnson. Kevin dumps it into Marley. Marley the fall away. Rebound by Cassell. Sam Cassell with a strong first half for the Rockets.
Nice.
Penetrates in.
Real nice. Really nice.
9 points for Sam Cassell. Foul going on Kevin Johnson. Cassell goes to the line. Ori now comes in for Kenny Smith.
I mean, if you look at Phoenix over the course of the year, the one thing that you've been able to do against them is score points. So if you're able to get a rebound and get it out on the break, you're going to get some layups. You're going to get some high percentage shots. Houston's starting to do that a little bit now.
And Sam Cassell is starting to step up. You figured that would happen sooner or later. He did sprain his ankle when they had a mini camp in Galveston, Texas before the start of round one. But he looks like the Cassell that had 22 points in a game against the Knicks. Out it comes now to Kevin Joe Klein. He is now 4 of 4.
Cannot say enough about the ball movement and the unselfish play from the Phoenix Suns right now.
Paul Westphal said, we've waited a week, let's get started, and his team has started effectively here tonight. Olajuwon kicks it outside to Ellie. 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Well, Robert Horry has been lost in this ball game. He's got to be more active.
A.C. Green with his 5th rebound of the night. Klein looks like he wants to try it again. Why not? And then A.C. Green and Robert Horry are tangled up, and it's going to be a foul on Green. Green and Horry hand fighting each other away from the ball. AC is such a warrior, and that time he comes away with a foul.
Well, maybe that's the play that'll get Robert Horry more involved in things. He just looks disinterested right now, and when you have a situation where you're struggling, you've got to get your big people to step up. He is one of the stars on this team. They need more points from him.
Into Hakeem, who has 8 points in the ball game. Ellie rotates it into Chilcutt. Chilcutt has a mismatch on Kevin Johnson. Rebound by Barkley. Barkley with 6 caroms. Barkley will try another 3. Green inside, tries to put back, and he's fouled by Robert Horry. A.C. Green is just relentless. Paul Westphal says the more responsibility you give A.C. Green, the more he responds.
Well, and once again, the good thing about A.C. Green, he's been there so many times. He's been to the playoffs every year he's been in the NBA, now 10 seasons. So he knows what it takes this time of the year. And he has stepped up, increased his game, and brought it to another level.
He had a 20-point, 15-rebound game in the first round against the Portland Trail Blazers. AC, who won 2 NBA championships with the Los Angeles Lakers. See what he's done since the regular season. He's taken it to a new level.
And more minutes are coming now in the playoffs. Boy, you want your veterans out there. You look at this Phoenix team, they have a lot of guys that have been there, but none any more successfully than A.C. Green.
Green, who hit his first 19 free throws in the first round, which tied a record in a 5-game series. Phoenix hasn't cooled off much, as you can see. 67%. Cassell in against Elliott Perry, who just came to the ball game. Perry's knocked over by Olajuwon. Off it comes to Barkley. Barkley with a 2. And Barkley has missed only 1 shot tonight. 7 for 8, 19 points. Biggest lead, 20 points by Phoenix.
And he's a guy that they didn't even know if he was going to be able to play in this ballgame.
Into Hakeem. They double Olajuwon. They re-enter again. LA, good 2-man game there.
At the hole. That's where the shots have to come from Houston. They have taken away the 3-point shots. They are putting the pressure on the 3-point line. Are the Suns on defense? The basket's open.
Ellie with 4 points. Elliott Perry, the follow away, not there. Rebound is cleared by Ellie. Off to Cassell. Cassell pushing, always forcing the issue. Goes baseline, and he gets hammered by Joe Klein. Second foul on Joe Klein.
Cassell trying to pick up more of the load here. He knows he's not getting it from some key people. Drexler's already gone. Watch Barkley come over with the block. Goes up and gets it. That starts the fast break. They get it out on the other end, and then he pulls up and shoots the jet.
Barkley averaged over 1.5 blocks in the first round. That was the 9th best in the first round. As Cassell hits a free throw, Horry will come in, and Olajuwon will sit down. And the Chuckster is off to a pretty good start here in the second round.
Well, why would you expect anything different after you saw him play in that first round series against Portland?
Well, I thought maybe that even food poisoning would affect Charles Barkley, but Paul Westphal says it's fun to play basketball when you're Superman, referring to Charles Barkley.
Yeah. Well, he knows that Barkley makes him a much better coach because he comes out and he plays and he wins ball games for you.
62-46, Phoenix with the advantage. 3:51 to go in the first half. And it comes to Barkley. The double comes. Elliott Perry back to Charles. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Nothing to it.
Yeah, you know, you're so concerned about his ability to put the ball on the floor that you stay back off of him like that. Maybe on a night like this, you have to force him to put it on the floor and force him to give it up.
He's 8 of 9. Danny Shays has come to the ball game now. He's putting the heat on Olajuwon. Robert Horry trying to create. Leaves it for Hakeem. He misses. Green with another rebound. That's 7. Here's AC. Just keeps going and got it.
Oh, and Olajuwon, what a break that time. He came over. He challenged AC Green. There was some contact, but he didn't get his fourth foul called on that play.
Green in double figures with 10 points, also 7 rebounds, and Joe Forte has stopped play, and he spotted a foul.
Well, they have let them play Olajuwon on the low post between Shays and Joe Klein. They have been physical with Olajuwon.
Well, it's center by committee. Shays commits a foul. Earlier it was Klein. We have a timeout.
The NBA playoffs on TNT are brought to you by
Well, Gary, we are unable to go back and talk to a player after he's been ejected, but Robert Barr, who is the director of player development for the Houston Rockets, says that Clyde is very disappointed with himself. He says it's not typical of him. And as we were leaving the locker room, we saw Gaynell Drexler, who is Clyde's wife, being escorted back to see her husband.
Yeah, that isn't like Clyde. I agree with you. Clyde Drexler, if you just joined us, ejected from this ball game, leaving with a total of 9 points. The Suns shooting 68% with a 66-46 lead. Hakeem, who picked up 3 quick fouls, but Rudy T's come right back with his superstar and hoping that he can keep it close. And Rudy Tomjanovich probably not expecting to have to go over and almost literally tackle Drexler to keep him away from referee Jake O'Donnell.
Well, anything you can do. He knows that Clyde could very easily have gotten tossed for another game. In addition to this one, he can't afford to have him miss another game.
Barkley and Green out rebounding the Houston team.
Not surprising, because Houston all year long has been a poor rebounding team.
Houston was last in offensive rebounds. 66-48 Phoenix. 2:44 to go in the first half. Into Danny Shays. Shays backs in, and he traveled with it.
Once again, give Paul Westphal and the Phoenix Suns a lot of credit here, because Shays is not normally a guy you would put on the low post and give him an opportunity to work. You have Olajuwon with 3 fouls. You're trying to get him with 4. So Shays might be called on to do something he's not used to doing.
Into Hakeem. He kicks it out to Horry. Horry will try one behind the line, and Marley with a rebound. Elliot Perry, who's a strong candidate for the most improved player in the NBA this year.
Boy, is he ever.
Perry ducks in. What quickness, and he gets the roll, and he got the foul. And Sam Cassell found out how quick Elliot Perry is.
Well, this guy, tremendous what he has been able to accomplish this year. One of the real stories in the NBA, what he has been able to do at a time when Kevin Johnson was injured, couldn't get any minutes from him at all. Elliot Perry stepped up, and look at his reaction.
Very popular here in Phoenix. Socks is his nickname because he pulls his socks so high. We now have a technical called on Cassell after that foul. So Elliot Perry, who shoots 82% from the free throw line of the regular season, gets the technical. Now he'll shoot the personal as Person and Green come back in. Barkley will sit down. But to get back to Elliot Perry, he almost did not make the 12-man roster for the Phoenix Suns. It was between he and Winston Garland. The very last, they decided to keep Elliot Perry, who kind of bounced around the league. And the guy has become somewhat of a folk hero here. They call him Socks, the Road Runner. He's got all kinds of nicknames.
Yeah, he's a fun one to watch. He just does his job. Goes out, does what they ask him to do here.
70-48. Cassell has picked up the personal as well as the tee. The Suns with 2:05 left in this first half. Right now have this game going their way. That ball deflected out of bounds. It'll go to Houston. 13 seconds on the shot clock. Barkley, 21 points, 6 rebounds. He missed only 1 shot, 8 of 9. And remember, he had food poisoning. Here's Olajuwon from outside. Shays runs out on him, but Olajuwon gets it anyway.
Well, that's as open as he's been this game. I mean, he has had someone on him every time he's touched the basketball.
So they whittle it back to 20. 1:45 left to go in the first half. Perry deflected by Cassell. Cassell has been one of the bright spots for Houston in this first half as Shays picks up another foul. Cassell has played hard. He's really been creating a lot of opportunities for this Houston team.
Well, he's had to. I mean, he would like to be distributing the ball and getting other people's shots. But right now, on a night when you don't have Drexler, you don't have Vernon Maxwell, Robert Horry is not playing up to par here so far in this game. He has to get more points.
Sam Cassell with 12 points. He's now 4-4 from the line, and coming up at halftime, the Reebok halftime report. Ernie Johnson, our Atlanta studios, with Cleveland Cavaliers head coach Mike Fratello. They'll have first half analysis, highlights of tonight's Indiana-New York game, and boy, did the Knicks come back tonight. Craig Sager will have a look at the Chicago Bulls following their last second defeat to the Orlando Magic. That's all on the Reebok halftime report. We're about a minute 42 away from joining those gentlemen in Atlanta.
Well, Rudy T just wants to get his guys out of this half, get back to the locker room here at the halftime, and try to regroup a little bit. He wants to try to make this score respectable before this thing is over.
Suns already with 70 points. They were second leading scorer in the NBA this year as it goes inside to AC Green, and Green has just continued on from the first round. He has 12 points. He averaged 14-7 in the first round. Horry backing in on Marley, and Dan Marley picks up the foul. That'll be the third on Marley. Let's go back to AC and see how he positioned himself to get the shot he wanted.
He just outworks people. Watch right here. He gets to the inside. Pete Chilcutt makes it easy on him by allowing him to get to the inside position that close to the basket. He's going to hurt you every time you allow him to do that.
Robert Horry going to the line. He has 5 points thus far. He is 3 of 3 from the line. Danny Ainge will come in. Marley's got to sit down after his third personal. Minute 13 to go in this first half as Horry gets both free throws. So this Houston team is 16 of 18 from the free throw line.
Well, that's the one good thing right now in this ball game, and think about how they got there.
Look at Barkley to the basket. Like a breakaway freight train right down the middle. He draws the foul.
How do you lose this guy? I mean, how do you not have someone out challenging him the way he has played in this ball game?
Well, Charles Barkley, prior to the first round with Portland, was very reticent. Didn't talk to the media. Talked about the fact that he would be ready. He said the first to 15 wins it all, meaning 15 wins. Right. He played a monster first round, and he has come out here in the first half, despite not feeling well, to throw 21 points at Houston here in this first half.
Well, it's easy to say this, but it looks like he's having so much fun. It's easy to say that when you're winning, as they have been, but he looks like he's having so much fun. He's involved on both ends of the floor.
This was a strange semifinal last year. Look at that.
And I think as you look at this is why Houston feels that this game is not all that big, because they feel confident that they can win on the road. They will come out and try to steal game 2, and they feel now they can protect their home court against this Phoenix team.
Yeah, they were down 0-2 and came here to America West Arena. The guy that really turned it around in game 3 was Vernon Maxwell, who of course is not with the team. Chilcutt hits a 3 from outside. 73-57. 44% for the field for Houston. The Suns still at 69% for the game.
We're getting a lot of uncontested shots.
Kevin Johnson trying to go baseline, and he called a timeout as he was trying to get out of that jam. It'll be a 20-second as we have 38.9 seconds left in this first half.
Well, I think you're going to see teams rethink this philosophy of calling the timeout. There you see Cassell getting hit in the eye. But you're going to see teams rethink this after what happened to the Knicks in that game against the Indiana Pacers. Down the stretch, they had no timeouts left. They wasted a couple by calling timeouts as Oakley was falling out of bounds, and it hurt them down the stretch.
Do you like that rule where you can do that?
I don't like it at all. It usually punishes the defense, which is one thing that I don't like. That time, Cassell made the play, and they did have the 20-second timeout, which makes it okay. But I think they'll change that next year.
Charles Barkley with Barkley-type numbers. As we mentioned in that first round, he averaged 33.7. In the regular season, 23 points a game, which was 7th in the NBA. There's the double team, and Kevin Johnson with a steal, 3-on-1. Ainge
Beautiful. Beautiful fast break. Great job, Wesley Person, filling the lane on the other side. Now, he didn't get the basketball, but he forced the defense to go to his side of the floor. Freed up Marlin.
Danny Ainge with 8 points in the ball game.
Excuse me, Ainge with the basket.
14 seconds left now in this first half. Cassell inside. Rebound, Barkley. Barkley with 7. Charles looks like he might take a 3. He wants to. Here it goes.
A good shot.
Nope. And
the time running out. Time running out, so he can take that one the way he has played so far in this half.
0.3 of a second left here in the first half. Houston could do nothing with it. And the Suns with an impressive first half. Houston with a first half that was not very smooth, losing Drexler. Olajuwon picking up 3 fouls, but look how they outscored the Rockets in the second quarter, 45-27.
And the thing that is surprising, Houston prided themselves on their defense. And watch Wesley Person, and then KJ throws it off to Ainge.
Reebok halftime report coming up. Ernie Johnson and Mike Fratello in Atlanta. Jack Givens and Jack, the Suns waited a week, and it was well worth the wait. They played very well.
Well, if they had any concern as to whether or not they would be ready to play this game, they didn't have to, because they came out, and I must say now the Houston offense made it easy on them because they took a lot of outside shots, and they had quick, easy baskets on the other end.
It's time now for the Budweiser game summary. You can see how efficiently at this summary the Suns played. Look at this. They shot 68% of the first half.
Yeah, that's what I mean right there. Houston was missing their outside shots, shooting 44%. It started the fast break. Drexler is gone from this ball game. Olajuwon 3 fouls early, but they did bring him back, and they did give him a chance to play with 3. Now, here is how he picked up foul number 3. Not a whole lot of contact on that play. He and Jake O'Donnell have had words in the past with each other. Maybe that has something to do with it so far.
And then Drexler, not long after that, had a foul called on him, and he went charging over for Jake O'Donnell, and Rudy T intercepted just in time. Now watch this. What, a foul? Are you kidding me?
Well, Rudy tried to protect Drexler right here. He tried to get the official's attention so he could pick up one of these technical fouls. He's too late. There he is right there. Now watch this reaction to get to Drexler before he maybe bumps the official and has to lose another game.
Well, Nicole Watson has a report from the Rockets locker room. Nicole?
Well, Gary, Rudy T told his team during the halftime that we have to keep our composure. We did not do it during the first half, and we paid for it dearly. They're also worried about fast break points. They gave up 21 to the Phoenix Suns. He said, we're worried about the double rotations and making sure that they do not get any more fast break points. He said, we have to control the tempo of this ball club.
Thank you, Nicole. One of the bright spots has been Sam Cassell. He just scored a basket. He has 16, his high thus far in the playoffs this year. Kevin Johnson trying to lose. Sam tipped away. Here comes Kenny Smith. Houston trying to claw back in this one, and Cassell has the first 4 points of the second half.
Now, one thing that Phoenix will do is allow you to get back in the game, because they do give teams opportunities to score, and Paul Westphal understands that. He calls the early 20-second timeout. 2 quick baskets by the Rockets.
Well, look at the steal by Sam Cassell, who has now registered 18 points in this game, 6 of 10 from the field.
Well, good defensive play right there. You see him come up with the loose ball, and the Rockets playing their style right here because of their aggressive defense. They get easy baskets.
So Phoenix has their lead whittled down to 75-61. They led by as many as 22 in the first half. They shot 72% in the first quarter, and interestingly enough, led by only 2 after the first quarter.
Now, that was a good timeout by Paul Westphal. We'll see after this play how good it was, but he does not want his team to relax here and allow the Rockets to get back in this game.
Well, Rudy has told us, Rudy Tomjanovich, that they get back in the game playing defense, and that's what they're trying to do right now at the offset of this third quarter. Here's Person ducking inside, and he's fouled by Sam Cassell.
Well, that's better defense right there. This is one of the few times that Phoenix had to scramble to get a shot off. Cassell bails him out right there by picking up the foul, but still Houston more aggressive here.
That's the third on Sam Cassell. Barkley backing in. Good rotation. Klein, who was brilliant in that first half shooting from outside. And talk about brilliant, A.C. Green now has 14 points in the ball game. He's missed only 1 shot tonight.
He has been at the hole every time. That time he stepped out. But the real key is how well Phoenix has moved the ball out of the double team, getting the ball that one extra pass to the open man.
Into Olajuwon going against Klein, and Olajuwon gets the bounce. But Joe Klein has been pretty effective against Hakeem. Hakeem in the first half with 12 points was 5 of 12 from the field. 77-63, just underway in the second half. Game 1 of this Western Conference semifinal. Barkley, who had 22 points in the first half. Here's Person ducking inside and rejected inside. It comes out to Kenny Smith.
Well, that's much, much, much better defense by the Rockets here in the early going to this third period.
Well, in Game 5, they were down by 12 to Utah and got back into the game playing good defense. And Hakeem hits outside. And all of a sudden now, this Houston team has come roaring back. They've cut it to 77-65. Olajuwon now with 16 points in the ball game. Into Barkley, bounces off of Chilcutt, the double team. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Barkley baseline. Gets inside. What a remarkable play. What patience he had.
Yeah, he kept his pivot foot planted. You know you have to run at him. You have to go for the pump fake. And he just took the easy shot.
Barkley gets the big baskets for this Phoenix team, and he's the guy who said, I'm just going to be the chuckster, and that's enough said. As Cassell right now is on a roll. He has 20 points.
He is eating Kevin Johnson alive right now.
Sam Cassell with 20. Kevin Johnson ducks in, and Barkley with a follow.
Well, that Drexler trade was good for Houston, but Otis Thorpe did such a great job on Barkley in the series last year. You can see where they're missing him.
Tommy Nunez has called the foul. Let's go back to Barkley's follow on the miss from Kevin Johnson.
Well, the drives are coming, so both teams are having to give a lot of help around the basket. If you follow the shot, get to the basket, you're going to get an easy putback. Barkley does on this play.
Houston with the basketball. The foul was on Kevin Johnson, his second, and that's a 3 by Pete Chilcutt.
Now, I think what's happening with Pete Chilcutt right now is Barkley does not respect his game. Barkley is allowing him to have that three-point shot. He's got to get up and challenge him on that shot.
The Rockets have hit their first 6 shots of the second half. They're now down by 11. The Suns led by 18 at halftime, and Kevin Johnson hits a 2. Suns have missed only 1 shot in this second half. They are 4 of 5. Into Olajuwon. Hakeem, so graceful. Chilcutt with a putback.
Once again, you have to respect Pete. He's going to stay within his game. He's not going to try anything fancy. He's going to do the dirty work. And rebounding is one of the things he has to be good at here in this series.
Chilcutt with 11 points. His high in the first round was 12. And Klein hits again. How about Joe Klein? He has not missed. He is 5 of 5 from the field.
It looks to me as though Phoenix is going to be satisfied for now with exchanging baskets. They're going to have to do something because the Rockets can't pick it up on defense.
A.C. Green with another rebound. Ahead it comes to Wesley Person on the move. Didn't get it, and he's fouled. Wesley Person in that first half scored 2 points. He took only 2 shots. This guy's had one of the finest rookie years in the franchise history for the Suns. The foul on Ori is his 3rd.
I really think Gary's shot selection for Houston is going to be the thing that enables them to get back in this game or prevents them from doing it. Because if you think about it, every time a shot is missed from the outside, you've had long rebounds, and Phoenix has been on the other end with high percentage shots.
Barkley sits down. Tisdale comes in. Barkley with 26 points, 8 rebounds, 10 of 12 from the field. Very careful of Charles tonight, breaking those minutes up after having all the problems next to Danny Manning, who went down with that devastating knee injury, and you wonder how good this team could have been if Danny Manning had stayed healthy.
Well, that's a good question. I know they missed Danny, but he made him forget about him not being out there. The team did.
Here is Wesley Person in the middle and can't get it. Chilcutt really playing a strong third quarter, comes down to the rebound.
He had some good matchups with Karl Malone in that first series.
Olajuwon kicks it out. Cassell back to Hakeem. Look at the hands. That wasn't an easy catch. Cassell traveled with it. Sam Cassell trying to duck inside, but Sam Cassell right now has kind of taken over the aggressor role for this Houston team. 87-72. Phoenix with 6:56 in the third.
the NBA playoffs on
7 of their 10 shots in the third quarter. But the Suns haven't completely been on their heels. They're 5 of 8. They've lost 3 points of their lead at halftime. You can see 7 of 10 for the Rockets.
Well, I think as you look at Houston's 7 for 10 shooting, you think about it now. They've been able to establish themselves around the basket. Cassell breaking down the defense, getting to the hole. Olajuwon has been around there. And then now the defense has to drop back, and you can throw it out and get the high percentage shots from behind the three-point line.
Suns for the game shooting 67% from the field. Person leaves it. Tries to come up with his own follow. The putback got it. Wesley Person had been 0 for 4 prior to that shot.
I tell you, what a way to break into the NBA for a rookie. To play on a team where all you have to do is come in and take shots.
Yeah.
I mean, that is wonderful for a rookie. I tell you, what a position to be in.
Well, he was the 23rd pick in the first round this year. Cassell last year was the 24th pick. So both those guys have been real steals on the first round for both clubs.
I mean, of course, Wesley Person has to play defense. But you're playing on a team that doesn't mind giving up some points because they feel they can outscore you. So he comes in and takes shots.
Olajuwon with 18 points. Klein, who's 5 of 5, trying to go 6 for 6. He finally missed one, and that was out of character for Joe Klein. You don't see him moving like that and trying to take a shot. He's just a face-up shooter from outside.
Well, he put the ball on the floor. He has been staying out there at the top of the key. One reason is to keep Olajuwon away from there, take away his opportunities to block shots.
Into Kevin Johnson, who has 12 assists in this ballgame. There's Horry reaching around and committing the foul. That'll be 4, and Robert Horry. You talked about Horry.
Yeah.
He's had 7 points tonight, 1 of 4, and hasn't really stepped up like the Rockets need.
Yeah, the real thing is he's had only 4 field goal attempts in this ball game. Consider Olajuwon spent so much time on the bench in foul trouble in the first half. You've lost Drexler. I mean, this is his game to take shots.
And that's his shot, Joe Klein. That's the shot he should have been taking.
Right.
And he still only missed 1 tonight. And Joe Klein with 12 points. In the regular season, his high was 13.
Yeah, they don't want him putting the ball on the floor.
Kenny Smith with the 3. Kevin Johnson's had stripped. It goes to Horry. Horry to Kenny Smith. And blocked by Kevin Johnson. Wesley Person dumps it inside to AC Green. Can't get it to go.
Well, still Phoenix aggressive. They are taking the ball right to the basket, right against that tough Houston defense.
5:14 to go in the third. Into Olajuwon. Nice catch, and he is fouled. It's going to be on Joe Klein. Let's go back to Kevin Johnson. He went after Kenny Smith. Let's see how much of the ball he got.
It's about the little plays. Now, KJ could have given up and allowed Smith to have the open shot. But instead, he comes at him, forces him to change it up, and it starts another fast break.
He actually didn't block it. He just changed it, as you mentioned. But they had the same end result. Olajuwon into the cutting Cassell, and he draws a foul. He gets the basket. He'll go to the line. The foul on Kevin Johnson. This is the Sam Cassell that the New York Knicks were talking about in the finals last year. He had the last 7 points in Game 3 against the Knicks, and in Game 7 he had 22 points and 7 assists.
Yeah, but this offense by Houston is great right now. That's fine, but the problem is on the defensive end of the floor. You look up with 5:02 left, and the Rockets have 76 points, which on any other night would be plenty. You look over on Phoenix's side, and they've given up 91.
Kevin Johnson with his 3rd foul of the night. The Suns, as we mentioned, second in scoring at 110.6. Only Orlando better in the regular season at 110.9. They have a lot of weapons. 91-77 Phoenix. Inside 5 minutes to go in the third.
Anytime you score that many points, you have to have good passers. And Phoenix, you've seen them move the ball here in this game tonight.
Led by Kevin Johnson with 12 assists. An illegal defense. That's the second. And so the Suns will go to the free throw line.
Now, I would not call that a good pass by Barkley right there, but the illegal defense bails him out.
This will give us an opportunity now to take a look at tonight's Chevy scoreboard, and I think the New York Knicks had their attention kind of perked by Indiana. Look what they did tonight, 96-77.
As I watched the Pacers play this game, I got the feeling that the Pacers were satisfied with winning 1.
Eric Harper with a big game. Even at 1-1 now as they go to Market Square Arena. There's AC changing the shot. Look at Barkley horse the boards. That's 8 rebounds for Charles. 91-77 Phoenix. 4:21 to go in the third. And as Barkley shoots it, we have another illegal defense. So they'll shoot another technical. You know, Barkley's the best at officiating the illegal defense. He is always telling the officials when it occurs.
Well, Barkley leaves nothing uncovered in a ball game. I mean, he brings it all up. And watch him right here. He just outworks the Rockets here. They are not a good rebounding team. Barkley knows that, and he chases that one down.
Kevin Johnson with a double-double, 15 points and 12 assists. Marlowe inbound, 4:19 to go in the third. Well, Houston came out strong, but the Suns beating them back right now as we go to the 4-minute mark of the third quarter. Kevin quickly inside.
Oh, man. Oh, you can't give that up if you're going to try to get back into a ball game. You've got to get down. You've got to challenge him on that and make it tough on him. Put him on the floor. This is the playoffs if he gets to the basket.
17 points for Kevin. He averaged 17-7 in the first round. Olajuwon in a lot of traffic. Kenny Smith with that tornado ball. He's not there
tonight. Not been there tonight. And he's shooting it very quickly because Phoenix has done a great job of rotating to him.
Kevin Johnson to Wayman Tisdale. Another assist for KJ, and Wayman with a good look, and he takes advantage of it.
And there is the ball movement and the passing I just talked about with a team that scores a bunch of points.
And Houston's going to call a timeout. Rudy T's team having a long night here in game one.
Well, Gary, I'm here with Danny Manning, who is sitting now. Danny, this is not the first injury for the anterior cruciate ligament for you. It's the second one. How's the recovery process? And we'll talk about you coming back next season.
Well, the process is still the same. It's probably a little bit more accelerated and more aggressive. But I feel very good right now. Rehab is going well, and hopefully I'll be back on the court again next year.
I know it's even more painful for you to watch the Suns play and be on the sideline than probably rehabbing your leg.
It is hard. It's frustrating because I think I could help out at times out on the court, but the guys are playing very well.
Okay, thank you, Danny.
Thank you.
Back to you, Gary.
Danny Manning, he was to shoot around yesterday, passing the ball, trying to rehab, and I know the Suns are looking forward to him coming back. That foul a moment ago on Olajuwon was his fourth, sending A.C. Green to the line. Green with 15 points and 9 rebounds.
Gary, as I think about how this game has gone, yes, Phoenix has put a lot of points on the board. The biggest challenge for Houston is going to be dealing with them on the offensive boards. And they are getting every shot they've missed, it seems. They've been able to get it and get themselves another opportunity.
Well, this Houston team has been so resilient. They're mentally tough. They have been backed up a lot of times, so you know there'll be a big adjustment for game 2. A.C. Green with a rebound.
Well, it's a funny thing about your offense. You think about Kenny Smith in that series against Utah. Seemed like every time he shot one from 3, it went.
Kevin Johnson goes right down the middle of the defense, gets 2. To Cassell, who has now 25 points in the ball game.
This is Phoenix's style. They will exchange baskets with you all night, particularly when they have this kind of lead.
100-79. Well, you might recall in game 2 of the first round, Houston threw 140 points at Utah. And we're on that pace here tonight.
But the
for the Phoenix Suns.
Their 3-point shots were falling. They haven't been able to make them tonight.
Barkley backing in on Chilcutt. Overshoots that one. There's Green again. Doing all the stuff inside, and the shot clock has expired.
And they get yet another chance at the rebound.
So A.C. Green didn't get the shot to go, but A.C. Green banging around has 11 rebounds in this ball game to go with 16 points.
Well, between A.C. Green and Charles Barkley working the boards, they have almost by themselves out-rebounded Houston.
Now, Houston is not a good rebounding team. We've documented that earlier, but they are really getting their head handed to them tonight. Less than 2 minutes to go now in the third. Olajuwon, there's Chucky Brown who just checked in, tries to put back, tipped away by Marley. A.C. Green digs it out of there. Look at him work. He's still working, and the ball is going to be off of A.C. Green. What an effort, though, by A.C. Green.
Well, that wins for you this time of the year. You see that Houston bench. No excitement at all, but A.C. Green working the boards. Marley comes over from behind, and then watch the scramble. Olajuwon playing with 4 fouls now. Could have picked up number 5.
A.C. Green every night comes in and plays hard. He is so consistent. Chilcutt missing outside. Tisdale the rebound. Here comes Kevin Johnson. Johnson with 13 assists and 19 points. Getting 21 for the night.
No, that's too easy. I mean, I know I've said that a lot, but KJ is the guy that gets this team going. The point guard must step out and challenge him and not let him have that shot.
Biggest lead of the ball game for the Suns. They led by 22 in the first. Now the 102-79 advantage. Sam Cassell into Olajuwon. 3 seconds on the shot clock and a reach-in foul. Going to go on Tisdale. That will be the second on Wayman.
Took an elbow to the side that time, and he had to walk off the floor to get himself together. Seems to be okay.
Paul Westphal telling us today this has been his toughest season by far. This is his third year as the head coach of the Suns. He had to try 25 different lineups, had a lot of injuries. But his team put it together, winning down the stretch in the regular season and winning their first 3 games in the playoffs.
Great interior defense.
Here's Barkley. They'll let him have the 3, and he loves it. Doesn't get this one. Rebound is cleared by Ellie ahead to Chilcott. He released early. That ball almost went in. A.C. Green then is fouled from behind. And if that's on Cassell, that would be his 4th. And it is.
You look at the most aggressive team here in this ball game. It's clearly been Phoenix. And I think what we're seeing out of Houston is a team that got taxed and taken to the limit in this series against the Utah Jazz, and it's shown here in this ballgame.
It was a torrid 5-game series, a game that had a different script every night, and the Rockets had to go to Salt Lake City in Game 5 and claw their way out. They had 2 elimination games in the first round, and in the last 2 years, the Rockets are 7-1 in elimination games, 3-0 against the Suns last season.
Gary, I'll tell you, the toughest thing about a 5-game series is not necessarily the physical exhaustion and physical nature that you put your body through, but emotionally. I mean, you have to be emotionally high, and after you win that series, it's only natural to be down just a little bit. And I think we've seen that out of Houston.
And very irritable, as evidenced by Clyde Drexler being tossed in the first half, arguing a foul, and then charging over to Jake O'Donnell, intercepted by Rudy T. And Drexler in the locker room watching with 4:04.79 the count. 25 seconds left in the third quarter. Here they come out trapping on Kenny Smith. And that is going to be off of the Suns. 12 seconds on the shot clock, 19 on the game.
Olajuwon also picked up an early technical foul in this game. Cassell has had a technical foul.
You kind of thought Hakeem set the temperament of the whole team. Early complaining, was not happy, and it was picked up by the rest of his teammates. Ellie tries a 2, tipped up by Chilcott.
Well, look, though, at how hard the Rockets are having to work for every point. I mean, Phoenix is running and challenging every shot from the outside.
Chilcott now with a playoff high this season of 13 points. He had 12 in the first round.
A.C.
Green as time expires. That's just sheer hustle.
Doesn't surprise you. I mean, that is not surprising at all.
That definitely epitomizes what A.C. Green brings to this Suns team. He has 20 points. No one else went after the ball. Just A.C. Green. He has 20 points, 14 rebounds as we head to the fourth quarter. And look at the end of the third quarter, just sheer hustle. Rudy Tomjanovich had his thoughts about Green.
What we can't have in this series is some other heroes. And the guy that really concerns me is A.C. Green. We played against him many, many years with the Lakers. And I know he's a great competitor, a winner, and he's just so hard to keep off the boards. He just keeps coming and coming. And those are emotional possessions when he gets those offensive rebounds, and that's going to be a big factor.
What Rudy T said there was epitomized in that replay, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think you're right. And you look at the fact that Phoenix has 23 offensive points, rebound points in this game. And Marley taking it coast to coast.
Marley with 5 points, and they bumped it up to their biggest lead of the game, 108-81. Here's Chilcott. He'll try a 3. Tisdale with a rebound. The Suns finish the regular season winning their last 4. They've now won 7 in a row. Moving ahead, what they think will be 8 in a row. This team is playing their best basketball of the year. Now, Tisdale is hurt. Tisdale has hurt his ankle.
He stepped on Pete Chilcott's foot, I think it was, as he went for that rebound.
Let's go back to the steal by Dan Marley.
Yeah, this is not the kind of game you want to miss any minutes, because Phoenix has everything working there. There's Marley with the steal, and then watch, no one picks him up, and he takes it right to the hole.
Sun's going to get a timeout to check Tisdale out. 10:57 to go in the ball game. 108-81. Well, Marley has contributed in different ways tonight. Not shooting the three, but taking the ball inside.
Has not been the factor that he was in the first round, and Barkley continues to be big.
Tisdale apparently okay. We looked at a replay while we were away, and that was just a self-inflicted injury. He didn't really step on anybody. Apparently he's okay. 10:43 left in the ball game. Kenny Smith with the 2. And Kenny Smith, who prior to that shot was 1 of 6, needed that one to get some confidence going.
Well, that's why your defense this time of the year is so big. Your offense might not be there, particularly in a game where the defense is up as it normally is this time of the year.
And it comes to Wayman backing in on Charles Jones, and Wayman, very good low post guy. He waited a long time to get to the playoffs. His last time was in '87. He played 4 games with the Indiana Pacers. There's Cassell wheeling inside, and Cassell is fouled, and Sam Cassell has been one bright spot for Houston tonight with 25 points.
You're right. He has gotten extended minutes because Drexler is out, and it's just been a tough game for a couple of guys. Kenny Smith and Robert Horry, it's surprising to me, has just 4 shot attempts with the other troubles that Houston has had in this ballgame.
And to document further on that, Kenny Smith, when he starts well, Houston starts well. He really has the ability to ignite this team. It wasn't there tonight. The shot was not going for it.
It was not there, and you have to look at Phoenix and give them a lot of credit. They knew what they had to do in this ballgame, and that was to challenge Smith and take away the 3-point opportunities for Houston.
Well, the defending world champions not getting the second round started the way they wanted to, but remember they lost game 1 to Utah. The last second pick and roll to John Stockton, who won it, and then they came roaring back in game 2, scored 140 points, hitting an NBA playoff record 19 threes. So you know, as resilient as this Houston team is, game 2 could be considerably different.
They seem to like to play from behind for some reason. That's where they play their best.
Rudy T doesn't like to. Maybe the team does. Elliott Perry shooting over Cassell as the shot clock expired. Tisdale, there's again just good second chance efforts in the paint.
They are just getting outworked in this ball game, and
looks like Sam may have hurt his wrist or his hand after that. He's guarding Elliott inside. Elliott giving away a lot of hype as he tries to stay with Sam, and that ball deflected out of bounds. It'll be Houston's ball. 11 seconds left in the shot clock area. Elliott inbound. 112-85. The Suns. Ball be deflected out of bounds. Still Houston's ball. Well, we talked about the Rockets. You see, they scored 100 points in game 1, came roaring back in game 2, and then look at game 3.
And in all of those games, Clyde Drexler was very good on the offensive end of the floor.
And again, Drexler ejected in the first half, arguing a call as Chucky Brown is able to hit a shot.
Well, they've had shots for Chucky Brown in this game, and really he has not made them tonight. You put Chucky Brown together with Robert Horry at that small forward position, and that has been one that has hurt him.
Chucky Brown 2 of 6 for 5 points. Tisdale the reverse.
Yeah.
12 points for Wayman. It took Tisdale a while to fit in with this team. They didn't know where to play him for sure, but down the stretch, he was in double figures 15 of the last 17 games. There's Brown to the hole. He draws the foul and gets the basket. Danny Ainge picking up the foul.
I think they feel Wayman Tisdale is excellent at the power forward spot, but where he has been a real asset is backing up the center position. You bring him in, he is big enough and broad enough to body up against some of the bigger people, but then on the offensive end of the floor, you saw his quickness on that drop step to the baseline. Centers can't guard it.
Brown missing the free throw. AC Green with another rebound. Off it comes now to Danny Ainge. A veteran team led by Ainge, who is playing in his 186th playoff game. There's a foul on Charles Jones, or is it going to be just out of bounds? It's going to be a loose ball foul. Well, we talked about at the start of the game that Charles Barkley was suffering from food poisoning. He got sick at the shoot-around, had to leave. They started the IVs, getting some kind of moisture content back into his body. He felt like he was going to feel pretty good. He came in, and he's thrown 26 points and 11 rebounds at this Houston team. Everybody should feel so bad, huh?
I think you're right. And the real key for Barkley in this ball game, he's been able to be that effective, while Paul Westphal has done an excellent job of limiting his minutes.
Yep.
He hasn't played extended minutes at any point in this ball game. He gets to sit the rest of this fourth period, so he's getting some much-needed rest.
Game 2 will be Thursday here at America West Arena. And then they play back-to-back over the weekend in LA with the 3.
Now, I think for Houston, it gets down to pride at some point. And I think they have to now step up and make some kind of run to get some momentum going into game 2.
7:42 left in this one. Into Tisdale. Backing in on Jones. Elliott Perry, 5 seconds on the shot clock. That ball deflected. Smith to Chucky Brown.
Yeah, now that's what it's all about right here. You want to try to make some good positive things happen, so guys like R2G1 can sit over there and see what's happening and understand that his team is behind him. They're going to try to get game 2.
Marley's taken only 1 3 in this ball game after hitting 11 of 19 in the first round. Tisdale to the hole, and he draws the foul. Well, let's look ahead as the playoffs continue on TNT. Michael Jordan of the Bulls against Orlando, and what a finish that was in game 1.
Well, it was interesting to talk to Michael after the game, hear his comments. He stepped up, took the blame for that one. He knew that he made 2 huge mistakes down the stretch. The one where Nick Anderson was able to come from behind, knock the ball away to lead to the slam by Horace Grant, and the other one where everyone in the world thought he was going to take that last shot.
And so did Scottie Pippen.
And Scottie Pippen, rightfully so, thought that was going up at the rim also. And Michael passed up an opportunity to become even greater.
Well, you know, Orlando is maturing, aren't they? They're getting some valuable playoff experience. After not winning a playoff game last year, they get through that series with Boston, and that's got to be a confidence builder. We have a timeout now by the Rockets. 7:05 left to go in this ball game. We're going to have a 20, I believe. Hold it here. They were going to call it. They were going to go a full, and then they changed it to a 20. So we'll keep it here.
Well, Wayman Tisdale, we saw on that drop step the problem he causes most centers. He is still limping over there. He turned his ankle. Just kind of got it caught on the floor, went down awkwardly on it.
Well, he's had some injury problems this year. It's been mainly in the rib area. He's had problems with that rib cartilage a couple of times. One time blocking a shot, he separated it and then re-injured it. And so Wayman now walking it off. Joe Prosky, the dean of all the trainers in the NBA, his 27th year as a trainer for the Phoenix Suns over there. And as he says, with his magic fingers, trying to get Wayman back and rolling again.
Well, this is not a game where you need Wayman. There he is. You saw his ankle just turn there all on his own. He made an effort to go for the offensive rebound. But you don't need Wayman in this game, so you don't want to take a chance of injuring him more. He's going to go back to the locker room, maybe get some more tape on it, and come back.
So Tisdale leads. Wayman with 12 points in the ball game, 6 of 10 from the field. And now I think Paul Westphal is going to ask for a timeout. He'll have a full. So 7:04 left to go. 114-94 Phoenix.
In the heat of the night's new home is TNT.
Welcome back to America West Arena. I'm Nicole Watson. Bob Weinhauer, the vice president for basketball operations for the Rockets, said that Rudy T told his team that they needed to make a run in the third quarter because the Phoenix Suns shot 68% in the first half. But right now, he says Rudy's very upset. He feels that the game is totally out of control and it's slipping away for his team. Gary?
All right, Nicole. Kenny Smith goes in. He thought he had a foul. It's deflected out of bounds. It'll be Houston's ball. Rudy's team has been shooting reasonably well from three-point land. They've hit 7 tonight, 7 of 20. They average just a little over 7 makes a game in the regular season, which led the NBA.
Well, Gary, I mentioned a minute ago, the problem for Houston tonight has not been on offense. I mean, they have plenty of points, 94 points in this ball game. The problem has been on the defense.
Charles Jones, who took only 1 shot in the first round in 58 minutes, took another one there and didn't get it to go, but it go to the line. And we were noticing during the break, look at Hakeem. They were working, it looked like the right side during the timeout. And he's in some pain. Looks like he has an ice pack or a heat pad on.
Yeah, he's been sitting there a long time. Maybe he took a shot to the rib cage somewhere in this ball game. Rudy T called him, wanted maybe to put him back in there for a little bit of a run here in the fourth quarter, but he can't go. They have a heat pack under tape over there on the side.
Charles Jones can't get a free throw. Charles Jones, 38 years old. Guy that they signed after playing only 3 games in the regular season. They brought him back. They needed some size because Herrera was hurt. They tried to bring Herrera back in game 3. He re-injured his shoulder, and Ainge has his 3rd 3 tonight.
And I don't know when the last time I saw him come off of a screen, catch it, and let it go. Normally, he's a standing jump shooter. He'll spot up, but that time he took the screen and let it go.
164 threes in his playoff activity in his career. That's an all-time best, as now Cassell draws the foul. And John Tobic now will come to the ball game for Houston, the 7-footer. The Croatian, and sitting down now will be Charles Jones.
Rudy T knows this one is over. He's going to rest his troops, try to get them together and ready for game 2 in this series.
Rudy T said in that series with Utah one time, has the fat lady started singing yet? Well, she has in game
tonight.
1.
And she sang tonight after about the 2nd period.
Well, Cassell has been the bright spot. 28 points in this ball game. Yeah, Sam during the regular season had a career high 31.
She was letting it out loud and clear early in this ball game. Phoenix established the tempo, the pace they wanted to play early in this game, led by Barkley and KJ, and they have not let up in this game.
And game 2 Thursday night here on TNT. Here's Ainge with 9 seconds on the shot clock, and Danny Shays trying to go up, and he's jostled out there by Topic. By the way, Danny Shays will be celebrating a birthday tomorrow. He will become 36 years old. Been a very good addition to the Suns team. He's played some quality minutes for him, especially late in some games. And I thought the Klein early in this game established his territory against Hakeem.
Yeah, I think what both Klein and Shays brings to this team at the center position, a lot of fouls that they can use, but 2 guys that can shoot the ball well from the outside, keep the centers away from the basket.
Ellie committing the foul.
Elliot Perry, as I mentioned, one of the real positive stories in the NBA this year. You look at Elliot Perry and what he has done. You take Bobby Hurley at Sacramento and the fact he was able to come back from that automobile injury, another truly positive and good story in the NBA. But what Elliot Perry has been able to do here in limited minutes here lately, but extended playing time early in the season, just remarkable.
AC Green hits this next free throw. He'll tie his career playoff high. He had 22 points last year against Houston.
Boy, you think about it as you look at AC's numbers. I mean, how many plays have they run for him tonight? I don't know if they've run one play for him, and his numbers are what they are.
Well, I tell you, Jack, they never run plays for AC Green.
You know, in this league, in this day, boy, it's very hard to find guys like AC Green.
Sam Cassell adds 2 more points to his total. He has 31. That ties his career high in the regular season. He had a 31-point ball game. 119-98. 5 minutes left in this one. Well, the Suns won the first 2 games last year in the semifinals, but they won them in the Summit. Then came back here and lost 2 in a row in America West Arena. It was a crazy series, and you wonder if we could have another one of those before this is all over. Chucky Brown out to Kenny Smith. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Ellie with a 3. Chucky Brown mistimed it. Shays tipped it out. It'll be Houston's ball.
Cassell has been truly a bright spot for Houston here in this series. There he is, and Elliot Perry doing what he does so well. Gets the steal, takes it to the other end, and they have been dancing all over the floor. They take a break over there and congratulate each other on the play.
Elliot Perry so quick, so fast. Kenny Smith missing outside. The tornado has not really been there tonight.
No, it hasn't. And I think early in this ball game, you talk about tempo, you're talking about establishing how you want to play. I think Phoenix did it early by running at Kenny Smith, not letting him have the three-point shot, and took him out of the game early.
AC backing in on Chucky Brown. 4 seconds on the shot clock. He got it. And that will be a career playoff high for AC Green. You think of all the outstanding playoffs he's been involved in with first the Lakers and now the Suns. And with 24, that's a new standard for AC Green.
116 games coming into this series he has played.
As we mentioned, he won 2 NBA titles with the Lakers. He was in 4 NBA finals. And he'd like to get back there this year. 125-98 as AC hits the free throw. He was 19 of 20 from the free throw line in that Portland series. Joe Klein getting ready to come in, but first we're going to have a timeout. 3:50 left. And the Suns coasting to a victory here in game 1. 126-98. The Suns waited a week to do this, and they've enjoyed every minute of it.
We changed the way you saw the world. Now we've made a world of changes. Introducing the new Ford Explorer, the top-selling compact sport utility with standard dual airbags. The one with control track 4-wheel drive for instant traction control automatically. Plus an engine that lets you go 100,000 miles before your first tune-up. The new Ford Explorer. Far and away, the best the world has to offer.
If you've had your air conditioner since Elvis made his comeback, it's no wonder you're crying all the time. Get this free heat pump info from BPU. Be energy smart. It's a decision you can live with. If you've had your air conditioner since disco was hot, your home probably feels like an inferno. Don't sweat it. Get this free heat pump info from BPU. It'll keep you staying alive. Be energy smart. It's a decision you can live with.
I drive a Land Cruiser. They're great cars. Excuse me. It's a great truck, but it drives like a car. And I feel safe and it's strong. When I signed with the Chiefs, they had guys on the team that bet that I'd get in a car accident when it started to snow, right? And I said, well, if I do, I'm going to be in something I'm going to be protected in. And that's why I got a Land Cruiser.
.350 to go in game 1. We've been wondering about Hakeem Olajuwon. Here's Nicole Watson with an update.
Well, Gary, he got elbowed in the side during the last play underneath the basket, and he's now just sitting on the side of the bench with an ace bandage around his ribs.
So he will hopefully heal for game 2.
I think you will see from him what you saw from Barkley in this game. You will see him come out and make sure that he wastes no time getting going. And there is finally Kenny Smith from behind the three-point line.
Kenny Smith now with 7 points. Well, I tell you, Olajuwon has the heart of a lion.
Yes,
you know he'll be back. So Houston will fast forward from this game, never looking back.
Well, the one thing about this playoff series, you don't have a lot of time to think about it. You get this one out of your system, you come right back, and you try to get it done in game 2.
Wesley Person missing. Out it comes now to Sam Cassell with 31 points tonight. He's been the story for Houston. Shays with a rejection. Well, that's an early day present. Danny Shays doesn't block that many shots.
No, he doesn't.
In fact, this team does not block very many shots. Their leading shot blocker was Danny Manning before he went down with the injury.
Yeah, he was just up over 1 block a game, so everyone else under that total.
Trevor Ruffin has checked into the game. This guy will light it up. He will shoot him in a hurry, and the rebound cleared inside. This year, he scored 233 points in 319 minutes. That means you take a few shots when you come in.
That means you know that when you come into the ball game, it's either a blowout or there's no sense in passing it. I mean, passing means nothing when he has gotten most of his minutes.
126 to 101. The Suns' high in a playoff is 140 points. They're not going to get that, but this is it's been impressive. Elliott Perry inside to Shays. Chucky Brown with good defense, picked up by Ellie.
Well, as I look ahead to game 2, you know you're going to get more minutes from Clyde Drexler because he will stay under control. But I think Robert Horry has to come out and has to be more effective at that small forward spot, particularly when you think of what A.C. Green has been doing.
Well, Horry had 7 points. He did not have a rebound. Smith had 7 points. So 2 guys you would expect to be up at least in double figures, if not more. Did not get it done tonight. And reaching in is Kenny Smith committing the foul. But this guy was there. You know, he had a 20-15 game in round 1, and he is 25-15 tonight. We've been trying to figure out what happened to Hakeem Olajuwon. We're going to go back on tape and try to document what the injury is all about.
Well, he seems to be in a bunch of pain over there on the bench. They have worked on him at every opportunity. And here's a look at it right here. This is that scramble they had for the loose ball. And maybe I think that's Cassell that ran into him there, and
pretty hard to see there.
Put the hit on him in the rib area.
Suffice it to say, Hakeem on the bench with 18 points. He has 4 rebounds, and he did not start the game out very well. He got 3 quick fouls. Well, he was not happy. Drexler really got upset. He was ejected, and it's been downhill the rest of the night as Chucky Brown ducks inside, makes it 127 to 106.
Now, for Olajuwon, you mentioned he got really taken out of this ball game by the officials early. Number one, he'll be happy to see another crew, a different crew in game 2. But he has to stay under control. They need him on the floor.
You know, Chuck Daly was telling me the other night, he says, he always told these players about officials, you got to get past mad.
Yeah.
In other words, somehow you got to keep your composure. It bothered Karl Malone, remember, in the last series. It took him out of his game. And tonight it affected this Houston team, obviously, with now 49 seconds left in the game. Look at Elliott Perry hustle. He saved it off of Cassell. Suns will get it.
Well, let's hope he's okay.
I don't know where he is. Where is he? There he is.
He took out about 4 seats over there as he made the dive for the ball. Now watch here.
He's getting up very slowly.
Yeah, Cassell's going to try to post him up. There he is. Now watch this effort. I mean, this is just tremendous effort by Elliott Perry. I'll tell you one thing about Elliott. He is going to command a huge salary increase from someone next year.
Yeah, he's an unrestricted free agent. Barkley loves Elliott Perry. In fact, he wore his socks high, remember, in the All-Star game to just commemorate the performance of Elliott Perry. He loves the guy, and he was over there checking on his little buddy, and now here he comes off. Charles grinning from ear to ear, and he says, what's wrong with you, Sox? You got to suck it up here a little bit. Continue on.
Well, I think one thing that happened, you talked about his socks being up to his knees. One came down, and that might that might be enough to want him to come out of the game very quickly. Give him a chance to pull those things back up and get set over there.
Houston better pull his socks down in game 2. Well, game 2 will be Thursday, and the Suns, with a 1-game-to-none lead, will be here in America West Arena. Then it's back-to-back Saturday, Sunday. Now, interestingly enough, when you have back-to-back games, it's pretty hard to sweep a team. So the Suns are thinking if they can win the first 2 here and then maybe split over the weekend, come back here 3-1, they would really be in good shape.
Yeah, I think you're right. But I think a veteran team like Phoenix, they will not be happy with the split. They're talking about sweeping this series as they did in the first round against Portland.
Well, they now have won 8 in a row going back to the regular season, 12 of their last 13. They would have a home court advantage against any Eastern Conference team should they continue on. And the Pacific Division champs go up 1-game-to-none. They win it 130 to 108. 26 points by Barkley, 25 by A.C. Green, and 21 by K.J. Let's go to Nicole Watson. Nope, she's not ready. All right, she's not going to do an interview. And so now our Budweiser player of the game, and it's A.C. Green. He played 39 minutes, posted these numbers: 25 points, 8 of 12 from the field, did not miss a free throw in 9 attempts, 15 rebounds. And A.C. Green, who's always played hard, but seems like to me, A.C., you have taken your game to a new level, starting in first round play. Great performance tonight.
Thank you. Thank God for that performance. Actually, it was a situation where we wanted to come out and establish in the first game of the series the way we're going to try and play. We knew it was tough. We started a very good trend playing Portland. We were strong on the board, strong on defensive end, and we wanted to come out and sustain that same kind of effort, and we did a good job.
You know, AC, as I watched this ball game, late in the game, we put your numbers up, and I tried to think back to one play that they ran for you tonight. I don't remember any, and your numbers are still tremendous. I tell you what, that's great for you to be able to be as involved in the game without having your number called at all.
I appreciate that. I guess it's a result of hard work, basically. You know, the coaches, they know that I like to just float around the court and just try and find a spot. The guys are unselfish. They'll get the ball to me when I'm in the open spot, and I'm just trying to keep an aggressive mentality. That's the most important thing.
What did you think when you heard about the food poisoning to Charles Barkley? It didn't seem like it bothered him that much, but what was the reaction on the team?
Actually, I wasn't too concerned because I knew Charles was going to play, you know, but it was one of those things like, oh, boy, because Wesley had the same thing against Portland, and he was out for most of the day, it seemed like. And so it was pretty tough for us.
Now, it's all about adjustments this time of the year. You know you're going to have Drexler back, and he's going to be more involved after getting tossed. R2G1 wasn't as effective as he's been in the playoffs. What difference do you see coming into game 2?
Well, this really wasn't a Rockets team, as you said, you know, and we know we're going to have to deal with Akeem, and we're going to have to deal with Clyde, especially coming back for his really first game. I think they're just going to try and be the more transition-oriented. They're going to try and bang the boards even harder and let those three-pointers fly like they normally do, and hopefully they won't get started on us in game 2.
Well, you're 4-0 in the playoffs, AC. Congratulations on this win tonight.
Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thanks, fellas.
Great game.
All right. The Suns convincingly here tonight, 130 to 108. A.C. Green with a powerful game as the Suns now will get ready for game number 2 Thursday night here in America West Arena against the defending world champions.
A 2-1 lead in the best of 7.